Total war is when a nation puts forth all of their resources in order to win the war. The United States fought a total war because the United States needed to utilize a wide range of resources for the conscription of war, and the efforts of conscription spread beyond the military and into the civilians' lives. This includes the drafting of hundreds of thousands of men. In the spring of 1917, the peacetime U.S. Army totaled 135,000 men. After war was declared on Germany on April 6, 1917, patriotism in the country ran high. Many men were moved to volunteer to be part of the U.S. forces and fight the war. Still, this additional manpower was not sufficient. General John Pershing, the commander of the American forces in Europe, asked for millions of men for his army. Initially, men between the ages of 21 and 31 were required to register. Later, registration included those aged 18 through 45. The two-sided registration cards asked for a variety of information, such as date of birth, father's place of birth, address of next of kin, eye and hair color, and race. On June 5, 1917, 9.5 million men were registered. There were 10,500 different draft lottery numbers. The military needed to reach out to each individual in asking them to join the army, thus enforcing that the United States fought a total war because the U.S. is using its many resources. On July 20th, 1917, a blindfolded Secretary Baker drew the first number from a bull, followed by other dignitaries over the course of 16½ hours. A total of 1,374,000 men were called up that day. In 1918, 3 more draft registrations were held. This increased the number of potential draftees by 13 million men. A total of 24 million American men registered for the draft, and 2.8 million were inducted into service. About half of the 1.3 million men called up on the first day of the draft were rejected, mostly due to health reasons. To the draftees, true opposition to the war meant avoiding any service that furthered the war in any way. By the end of the war, many of these men had capitulated and were placed into the medical corps or were on civilian duty. When the war ended, tears of joy and pain were shed. At the end of World War I, the government immediately dissolved the wartime agencies that had directed the nation's economic mobilization. The USA economy fell to the War Department's control, returning 4 million soldiers to the workforce at the very moment and made government cancel thousands of wartime manufacturing contracts, which made jobs scarce and threatened to wreak havoc on the national economy. The War Department began releasing 1.5 million men training in domestic and foreign camps, and then brought overseas units home. Veterans were not the only ones who suffered in the post-war recession. Millions were out of work, and a wave of strikes that involved nearly 22% of the total workforce rocked the country. This is yet another example of total war, because everyone was involved and affected by it. When the soldiers slowed down, so did the economy, which led to a widespread of misfortune. Massive pressure arose to demobilize quickly from the families at home, wanting to see their loved ones. The people of the United States were also becoming disgusted with the war because of its high costs. The war cost about $50 million a day. Every day's delay in demobilization added to the burden of taxation required to finance the Army's upkeep. Total war was experienced because everyone suffered. The troops suffered combat and sicknesses, while the U.S. citizens suffered more taxes and a slowing economy as a result of demobilization.